So in an effort to make sure the public understands how this works, if you will please explain how it works from a sensor to dispatch.
Well, I'll give you a simple view. Someone fires a gunshot. It's detected and it's sent to a main office. They have analysts there that look at it. They can even tell you the direction of travel that it's going. The vehicle's going. If they fire it out a window, they can tell you the vehicle's going northbound, southbound, whatever. Because the way the sensor's set up, and within 30 to 60 seconds, they can call our dispatcher and have the information to our dispatcher. And it's so accurate in some cases. I was out one night over on 35th Street, and they said gunfire next to a large tree in front of so address. And guess what? We went there, and it was a guy shot over, and he subsequently died. And that was a ShotSpotter call.
Chief, you mentioned it's what, 3.5 miles radius that it encompasses?
Yes.
Do you think that's wide enough? When you talked about expansion, does that entail maybe making it a wider scope?
We have 4 areas that we'd like to expand it to if we had the funding, and we know it'd be beneficial in those areas too. But again, we had to use the dollars that we had, and we used a number of factors to determine where we need to put it. And I think, well, I know it's in the right place for now. The results.
ShotSpotter, the Innova, and all the other programs that you have, homicides still at or above where they've been. Are you hoping that?
No, they're not, and that's what I tried to dispel early on when I told you about 1983. You look at 1983, 1993, we were up at one point 21 more than we are today. I believe it was in 1983 or 1993. We're 21 up than what we are today. So that's why I put that information out there, because if you just look at last year or the year before that, you're thinking, oh my God, things are out of control. If you look at the first month, full month that I was chief, we had 17 homicides. You look at January this year, we had 16. And everybody was talking about, oh, it's out of control. This is nothing unique for Kansas City, and I've said this before. Out of the 43, 44 years, there's only been 9 years where we've had under 100 homicides. 9 years where we've had under 100 homicides. So this is nothing unique to Kansas City. Should we accept it? No. Should we keep doing some things differently? The technology that we're using now, KCMO, and those 2 pieces of strategy are not the cure-all. It's going to be a lot of things, and I think that the biggest thing, and I say this over and over every chance I get to speak to people, it's about the community engagement, about partnerships, about collaboration. Because if we look at some things, and I said this before too, if you look at 1993, the Rodney King incident, you look at 1968, the riots in Kansas City, we didn't go over 100 homicides until the riots in Kansas City in 1968. To me, there's a disconnect. When you fail to protect, there's always a disconnect. So I tied that in there, and then again, you don't have to do a long study for that. When there's incidents out there, when people lose faith and confidence in your police department, they tend to take things in their own hands, and that's what we're trying to do, build those relationships again.